Hello, Gun Nation. We'll give it a second, let everybody make sure they can see and hear and all that good stuff. All right, this evening we have got the three amigos, three guys gun chat, reunited, and it feels so good. Got KS Gun Guy 1776. Hello, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Doing well.
Just great. I'm alive. Yay.
Just a little peachy.
Oh, yeah. Living life in the hell we call New York State.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, hell, look at Chicago, too, man. Kicking all their kids out of school and shit. It's like,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Good idea, guys. Great idea.
Yeah. Probably coming to a liberal city near you.
Right.
But, yeah, that's insane, man. I mean, you can't tell me that this is not putting a major toll on kids, emotional state and all this other stuff. I mean, they already have to wear a mask like 24/7. I mean, at a lot of schools, a lot of ours, they don't. But, man, these poor kids, man, they're going through some mental shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the parents, having to deal with this,
Oh, yeah, having to deal with their kids for the first time in probably, 25 years, And that's I'm just going to say this. That's the thing I love about everybody bitching about schools. Nobody had any problem when parents were giving over their kids to schools so the schools could raise their kids. Yep. Now, all of a sudden, the kids are being thrown back in their lap, and all the parents are like, oh, my God, the schools are terrible.
Yeah.
Bullshit. There's so much bullshit right now. It's not even funny about so many different things. Maybe if we get a chance, we could talk about it. But like my perspective on things have completely gone rock bottom at this point. So
yeah. Well, this gives the opportunity from the children or the parents to see some of the demon children that they're
sorry.
With. Hello.
Can't take it.
Oh, that was me. Oh. Yeah, I'm switching screens here. I'm on a little teeny laptop, and it's not easy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but they're I was gonna say they're dealing with their spawn that they've raised or not raised. But I just wanted to catch everybody up. See, it's been a while since we've all been together. Wanted to see kind of everybody's ask about y'all and stuff like that. Wanted to give everybody a chance to ask some questions. We've got a bunch of people jumping in here. We will try to get to all the questions here, and we won't go through a roll call because there's too many in here now. But thank you everyone for being on. It's much appreciated. And but we'll go ahead and jump into it. What's been going on with you, KS?
Same old thing. Lots of work. These are busy days. Of course, the holidays are busy in both arenas that I work in, and year end and all that sort of thing. So. Just constantly going from one place to another. But as far as the gun world, I've kind of slowed things down a little bit. I'm not really buying very much. I bought a USP Expert recently, and that was about the only thing. I don't think I've bought a gun in over a month, and so I'm starting to get the shakes, get the withdrawals a little bit. I
don't know how you're making it.
Yeah. It's the wallet is telling me, yep, you got to keep doing this for a little while, and I'm good with that. And also just enjoy what I've got, and have some fun with that, and force myself to shoot more and buy less. And so that's the hope anyway.
Yeah. What about you, 17?
Well, as many of you know, my documented case with COVID is finally over. I wound up getting COVID for roughly 3.5 days. Then I wound up getting pneumonia for roughly 2.5 weeks. That was a lot of fun. But now I'm back, I'm getting better every day. I'm at the gym now. Gun wise, I've been buying some things, but things that I'm interested in more so than just to get the next hot thing, even though there's been a lull in guns for the past 2 years. I mean, there really hasn't been anything that's been ooh or ah. But it is reintroducing me to guns that I'm interested in, which I think is good. You guys know I've gotten the Berettas. I'm just completely sold on Beretta right now. They're just a lot of fun to work on, super easy to work on. I bought a Masada, which was on the cheap, just because I wanted another optic firearm, but I didn't want to spend, like, let's say, the money that some of these guns are commanding right now. So on that note, I actually just spent like a lot of money on another pistol, but it was a gun that I owned prior that I'm going to be getting hopefully this Friday, but it won't see it probably for like 3 years. And that's an H&K. No, it's not a VP9, which would have been my 17th if it was. But it is a gun that I'm actually glad I bought because I had one, sold it a while ago. And, I'm pretty excited for it. It's a P2000, which is kind of an unsung hero of guns, I think, for a lot of people. And it's an FDE version, which is nice. They're very hard to come by. But I'm pretty excited about that. So once that comes in, I haven't been shooting much. I went and I shot the Berettas and had a horrible day shooting. One of the things I was telling people, which, by the way, a lot of people are making really stupid ass comments again about my hand shaking. So for those of you who are new, my hands shake, guys. Get fucking over it, okay? It doesn't mean I can't shoot. Doesn't mean the gun's going to go off because my hands shake. It is what it is. After COVID, my shakes were really bad due to the COVID, I believe. And now that's starting to come down better for me. So, hopefully I can go back to the range pretty soon and then go from there. But I mean, overall, it's just been the same old, working my ass off and watching the state of New York crumble even more, which is really fun. And, just watching Bold and Furious's videos and laughing because he's saying everything that I'm thinking. But I think it in a much more intelligent way than he does. But nonetheless, we all know Baldy. So,
and you probably think it in better English than he speaks.
That is true. Sometimes I read what he writes. I'm like, what the fuck is he trying to say here? I don't even understand this. So, but yeah, it's always fun to watch.
When he shoots me a text, I'm like, shit, I don't know hieroglyphics. I don't know what the hell this is saying.
Google Translate.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, I've kind of went down the 2011 rabbit hole, and I've been catching a lot of shit. And I know that you have the trimmer. I have a little. As I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit of a trimmer. I don't shoot bullseyes. And I get, well, I could, at 20 yards, I can shoot the hair off a gnat's ass or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Make a video, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I went down the 2011 rabbit hole. I've always enjoyed 1911s, but of course now I like the capacity and really enjoying that. And really kind of gear stuff. And y'all all know this about me. I don't buy any guns for a review. I buy guns that I want. Matter of fact, Keenan asked that question and wanted us to talk about it. He's at work this evening, but he asked us, are we buying guns like just for review, or are we buying guns, like that we want in our collection or that we want to own? And I'm all about buying guns that I really want. I don't want to just go buy a gun and, because it's the latest and hottest, greatest thing, that's newest striker fire that's going to do the same shit as the other striker fire. That's not what I'm into, but to each their own. I mean, guns are guns,
And I think ultimately that, like anything else, my channel is evolving a little bit too. I mean, I'll do the reviews, but I'm starting to try to, come up with better angles of reviews instead of just reviewing a gun. I did the one with, me just falling in love with hammers, for example, and kind of going through that. And then, just some other things. So that's kind of where I'm going to. But we'll see. Like I said, everything is fluid at this point. And Bald, I'm sorry to hear about your nephew, man.
Yeah. I think it's his niece, but still.
Oh, is it? I thought it was his nephew. Well, sorry.
But Rabbi gave $4.99 for KS's any new ex-wife to tell us about.
Not that I'm willing to admit, but it's great to see you, Rabbi. I really appreciate that. And going back to that question, I am only buying guns for reviews, just so you know.
Okay. Okay. And not reviewing them.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. You're reviewing them in your mind.
I have a different channel, and I haven't told anybody about it.
Yeah.
Damn.
I believe it's a dart gun channel, isn't it?
It is. Nerf, dart, whatever.
I thought that was that makeup channel, underwater basket weaving and makeup.
Staple guns. I only cover staple guns.
Yeah. Hardware guns.
That's right.
Bosch Tech.
So I actually recently sold my soul to the devil. I opened up a Patreon. I'm not even sure why I did it, but I'm doing it because I just want to see if people would be like cool enough to help contribute to the channel. I mean, I don't think people are realizing how difficult it is in the state of New York to seriously have a gun channel. I do. I think it's very difficult because we can't get our hands on just about anything, whether it's ammunition or regular AR-15s or, regular capacity magazines. So it makes it difficult. And then the process to get guns in is even more difficult. So, we'll see. I did it. I have one person who actually is contributing $3. So why, thank you, sir.
There you go.
Nice. But, like I said, it's not really, I don't know. I don't know how to take it just yet because I always gave people shit for it. but you know, fuck it. Why not? Let's see what happens.
Well, and you know, like I've always said, you know, people can do what they want to do. I've had people offer, hey, you ought to have a Patreon, and I haven't set one up. You know, I have those affiliate links if people want to buy any of that stuff to help support me and, you know, products I believe in. That's cool too. But yeah, I mean, whatever works for everybody.
I did get a very cryptic offer today on my email, saying, hey, do you want to have a business, something, whatever, but then nothing else, nothing at all. So I go, can you be a little more specific? Because there was nothing added to that. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I want a business partnership with something like that, you know?
Yeah.
You got to ignore all of those emails. I mean, I still get 1 or 2 of those a week. And it's junk or some, you know, Chinese company or whatever, just to ignore them.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a safe company that's been hounding me for like, a month and a half. They do those little portable safes.
Yeah, it's wins. I did it for them. I actually did it. And honestly, I know people say, oh, it's Chinese shit. No. Everything you own is Chinese shit. I want you all to know that. I hate to tell you.
No. And I wasn't degrading the product or anything like that. I was just like, man, they're just wearing me out. And, you know, I mean, my gun's on my nightstand. I don't have any small children, you know, so it's just not anything. I just would feel like, if I would say, hey, check this out, look at this, you know, buy it if you want. Yeah, I could review it and I would be fair about it, but it's just, I don't have children, so I'm not, that's just not a concern for me.
It's actually, I mean, they're not bad products, but I know people have a bug up their ass about the whole Chinese thing, which is understandable. But you know, I'm trying to figure out like what, you know, people always worry about that stuff and I get that, but at the same time, look around. Everything you own is made somewhere else. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just simply saying it's the reality of where we're at.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I mean, I try to buy all American. I know that y'all do too. I mean, we try our best, but you know, I love, and I will say this, but I love the guy who chews me out because I have a HoloSun and he's typing it on his freaking iPhone. You know,
exactly.
His Chinese
I got one
laptop,
of those.
You know, so it is what it is. But all right, we're going to get to some questions. Let's see here. Rabbi says, oh, I just figured it out. KS went dark because O'Wright was on his ass to make more vids.
Well, you know, it's funny. So this might have been like late November, early December. I got an email from them. And it was a different person. I don't remember the name of this person. It's always a different person every time they reach out to me. And they say they've taken over for the last person, that sort of thing. They were like, you know, we'd like to send you X, Y, and Z, and if you'll review and do this, and very strict criteria as far as timing and you have to let us know when you do the review and this, that, and the other thing. I wasn't saying like you have to say this or that, but just sequence and order of things. And I almost replied, yeah, send me all the stuff. Oh yeah, I'll like totally do that. And then they send it to me and I'll be like, oh, my channel fell apart. I'm really sorry. But I didn't do it. But they still reach out from time to time.
Yeah. I've gotten emails from them too after I told them to pump sand a long time ago, and I just ignore them. I don't want to mess with them.
Yeah, I got one not too long ago, but it was a mass emailing with a bunch of different people on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, delete.
Yeah. I've gotten
Although
one
I
from
should
a
have said,
lady.
yeah, send me everything, you know, and then say, hey, thanks, fuckers, and never make any videos. So
right.
I got one from a guy named Peter, and then I got one from some lady. I don't know who. I can't remember her name. But half of it was, and one of them, half of it was in Chinese, and then the other part was in English. So I was like, what the hell does this say? Whatever. All right. Hey, I did want to ask a question to y'all real quick before we get into questions.
No.
What is y'all's opinion on the Smith & Wesson CSX? Everybody's been asking me left and right about that damn gun.
Is it right there? There you go.
I mean, go ahead, Kaz. I'll let you talk first.
If it would be cool if they did some sort of 1911-ish sort of thing that was not traditional 1911, but something kind of different. But then I saw the size of the thing and I thought, no, this is just another P938 or whatever. Hard pass. It has no interest to me. And I saw some video the other day on it, and they were saying that it was innovative, and I was thinking, you're not selling that very well. I don't feel like this is innovative. It's fine if you're interested in it. I don't have a problem with that. But it's not exciting to me at all.
Yeah. What about you, 17?
So I saw MD Polo. He made a video of it, and my comment was, "This gun is as relevant as the shotgun they released, or something along that lines." And I it just, I don't know if they're just desperate to release something, or what. But that gun, why? What does that gun do that the Shield doesn't do?
Right. That's exactly
right. It's not. I mean, maybe it's a little bit smaller package wise, but that gun looks so fucking stupid. It not only does it look stupid, but that beaver tail, that shit almost extends up to your elbow. So it's like, why do you need something like that? And it just looked cheap as shit. It's kind of embarrassing. You know, Smith & Wesson makes good guns. The M&P series is a very good gun, but it's like, once again, they come up with something that I don't think anybody wants. And I'm sure people will buy it. They'll buy it to review it like they do. And that's fine. No problem. But I don't see the point of having something like that when there are so many better options out there. And from what I saw, the trigger sucks. So why would you go away from a P365? Why would you go away from a Shield? Why would you go away from a 48 or a 43X? I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. So,
well, you know, I'll chime in a little bit. Like the little SIG 938, that is kind of what it reminded me of when I saw it. And to have the longer beaver tail for guys with big hands and that meat on the back, it'll rip your ass open if you don't have it. So, I mean, I can see really getting high up on that gun. That's going to help pull that meat back so it doesn't, chew it off. But for that little thing, I'm just like, meh, it's cool that it's alloy and stuff, the grip, but I'm like, I just don't see anything that jumps out. They didn't make it optic ready right off the bat, which they're probably going to have one in another month that's going to be optic ready in performance series or, their performance series. But, I just think, whatever. I know that people bought it. People are going to review it. That's cool. And if you want it, that's cool for you. But it's definitely not a gun that I would even look at. I have no interest in it personally, but somebody else likes it. Hey, man, go for it. It is another offering. That's what we can say. Give someone else another option that might be looking for that type of gun.
Right, but that would be like going to the supermarket looking for toilet paper and picking out the single ply toilet paper because it's worthless. I mean, I cannot. It doesn't matter what it is. You cannot convince me somehow that gun would be something anybody in their right mind would buy over something else.
Well, but here's the thing: a lot of people have bought it, and more people are going to buy it to review it because it's the hottest, newest gun out. And if that's something that's geared towards your channel, do it if that's what you want to do. But right after the review, is your review going to help pay for it, or is it just another gun you're going to keep in your safe, or you're going to turn right around and sell it? I mean, what are you going to do with it? I looked at the gun store today. I just happened to go by there at lunch just to look around because I was just going to put one in my hand to see how literally tiny it is. I mean, you can see it. I haven't read dimensions on it, but it's probably going to be a 2-finger gun for me, which I have no interest in. But I just wanted to check it out and see if the trigger was as horrendous as I've heard it is. A buddy of mine, just so you know, he bought it and he's going to review it. I've gotten some information from him, and he said some things that he's got pretty big hands. He said some things that kind of make sense, but we'll just wait for his review to come out if anybody's interested in it. But I just told him that's nothing I'm personally interested in. So, have fun with it.
Yeah, it's not for me. Although a lot of people are really big fans of that format. The 938, 238, Kimber Micro, they like that small 1911 style firearm. That's fine. I mean, knock yourself out. I mean, if they train with 1911s, if that's kind of their manual of arms that they prefer, but then they want a carry version and hopefully it's very reliable. I mean, that's totally fine. Again, it doesn't hit my radar. It really doesn't. I'm a fan of Smith. I mean, I've been bringing in all sorts of crazy Smith & Wesson Wessons. Wow. Over the last probably 7 or 8 months, but that would not be one for me.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I feel too. And, and look at it this way. If you're going to carry it in your pocket, okay, you're driving, good luck getting in your pocket for one, but it's just not really a pocket gun. And then to carry that like in an outside waistband holster, I mean, the thing's that's just goofy, I think. And then if you're going to appendix carry it or inside waistband carry it in a stressful situation, and you've got decent sized hands going down to grab that little sucker, good luck. But whatever. I mean,
So a lot of people are saying that, for example, carry my revolver in single action said, great point, KS. Some people like that 1911 style. And you're right. You're absolutely right on that end. But, do you think people go to that more often because that style of handgun is a metal handgun versus an all polymer type 1911? That would just be my question on that. I think people like that for that simple reason, but who knows?
I think it's manual of arms. I was talking with a guy the other night. He and his buddy were they were looking at different firearms, and they were looking at the Shield Plus, and the Shield Plus we had the thumb safety. And I was saying, you just ignore it. That's kind of so far out of the way, and on the Shields, it's actually kind of hard to actuate anyway. So just ignore it if you don't want it. And the one guy was like, oh yeah, that's cool. That makes sense. The other guy said, nope. I want a thumb safety. I train and shoot 1911s exclusively. And he went through kind of his roster of guns, and he had I think it was a Kimber Micro, something like that. And he just preferred that style of firearm. So in that instance, okay, I get it. And if that's the style, and as long as this new Smith & Wesson, if it proves reliable and you like that manual of arms, go for it. I mean, if that's what you train, if that's how your brain automatically knows to disengage the safety and do all that sort of thing, totally cool. Again, it's not, and I don't train for that. I mean, I love shooting 1911s, but only for fun, only just to go to the range, have a good time, not from a carry perspective or anything like that.
Well, and see, that is where I've carried 1911s, and of course I carry 2011s now. But you'll watch me even at the range with the striker fire. I go out and my thumb goes right down the side as if I'm even hitting a safety, a side flip safety. But here's the thing: 1911 safety, a true 1911 safety, and a freaking Shield safety are two different ball games.
Totally.
One, you've got a decent sized paddle to punch on a 1911 or a 2011. That little freaking indention POS shit thing, good luck. In a stressful situation, you're going to miss that thing left and right. I'm just going to call it.
I agree.
And you're going to be sitting there with a dead gun. So have fun with that. But it is what it is. I mean, there's people that, will say something, but then they're the ones that are going to pull it out and miss the safety every time. So I would not trust those things to save my life. They're just way too small. And then I wanted to ask another question. How is the ammo in y'all's area? Or is it, plentiful? Is it still hard to find? Is it still way overpriced? What are y'all seeing?
For us, just in the general area, we're certainly seeing the ammo come back, and then there's a greater variety, more availability. The one thing that has not changed is price. And largely because the manufacturers and the distributors have not changed their prices. We haven't seen increases for a little while that I know of, but at least it's more readily available. I mean, we have some things. I mean, for a while there, like 380 was gone for 6 months. I mean, we had things like that back, and more obscure calibers, but it's still a little hit or miss. I mean, we'll have some, let's say 10 millimeter for a week, and then it'll be gone, and we won't see it again for 2 weeks or whatever. So at least people have the opportunity to find what they need a little bit more easily.
Okay. What about you, 17?
For us, it's very, very, very erratic. Some days you can go and you'll find some stuff, but never in bulk. I was able to get 4 boxes about a week ago, but the prices are still inflated, obviously. And I was surprised. I was even surprised they were selling me 4 boxes, because normally it was 1 box, then it became 2 boxes. But I knew the guy behind the counter, so he hooked me up with 4 boxes. But it's hit and miss. I mean, there's still, like, in my general area here, I have a gun shop, which is my normal gun shop I go to, which is about, I don't know, say maybe 10 minutes from me. And then there's another one that's about 10 minutes from me. And there still is not any, there's no long guns at all. They're all gone, still gone. Shotguns are just gone. Lever actions have gone. And then when you find them, their prices are out of control. Handguns in one particular store, you don't really find much. The other one I have to usually order if I'm interested in something, but he's finding it difficult to find them. So it's been really strange here still. It is just, and it's a different culture. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, have it much easier than I do, like I said, but the culture about guns around here, it's almost like it's feast or famine. So 1 week you can find what you want, the next week it's gone, and then it's gone for weeks at a time. So that's where we've been. So I'm hoarding as much as I can, but it's, you go shoot 200-300 rounds, you're like, shit, like, how am I going to make that up now? But it's been tough. It's been tough trying to find stuff here.
Yeah, in our area, we have a lot. Some places it's pretty high. They're averaging about, I've seen just standard 115 averaging $21.99 to $22.99 for a 50-round box. I did go to the academy today, and I do prefer 124 grain. And it's not like I needed it, but it was just sitting there, so I went ahead and grabbed it. But it was Browning, and it's the 124 grain full metal jacket, all brass, and it was $53.99 for 150 rounds. So that averages out to about $18.90 a box, something like that. So 38 cents a round, I think. And it was a 4-box limit. So basically I got 4 boxes of 150 rounds, which is 600 rounds. So I just went ahead and grabbed that. Cause my 124 grain is the lowest because that's what I carry. So that's what I like to shoot. But, but gun stores, man, sometimes it's still pretty scarce, and then also super expensive if you find it in a gun store.
Jeez, Pistol Pete is still waiting on his back order from Sportsman Guide from August of 2020.
Yeah,
it'll get here. It'll get here.
Yeah, I know some other people that are too, but yeah, it's and I've seen some reloaded and stuff like that, remanufactured selling, but nothing wrong with remanufactured. I've shot some of it. Some I've had issues with, some it's been great, but I would prefer to have new if I could get it, for a decent price, but it is what it is. But
yeah,
another thing I wanted to ask, because it was asked, any guns that are on your radar other than the DWX, because that's another thing everybody was asking about. Do we know anything on the DWX still? But are there any other guns that are on your radar that you're kind of hoping for, or if it comes out, you'll grab it? And you could say the DWX if that's what it is, but if not, anything you're looking for?
I'm still waiting on an SA-35. I do have one on order, but it's been on order for months, and I probably won't see it for a while. But that's the only thing on the horizon. There is zero else.
Okay.
New wise, there's nothing that has been projected at this point. Obviously, SHOT Show might change that, but the DWX is interesting. I'm not sure where I stand on it. Obviously, me, I'm cheap as hell, so I always look at price first. However, here's a plug: if you guys join my Patreon, I'll be able to afford one. So we'll just go from there. But I think like right now, I'm just revisiting. Look at the chaos shaking his head. I've been looking at, and this may sound weird, a lot of H and Ks, except for the VP9. Like I have no interest in the VP9, but I've been looking at P30s right now. But I'm looking for obviously I want a V1. I want an LEM V1 light law enforcement trigger. That's what I want. They're not too expensive. I found a few of them in the mid $6s. So I'm okay with that. I just got to save up and get one. So I'm looking at one of those. I was thinking about picking up another, like an A4, an M9 A4, but honestly, I got the Centurion, the 92X Centurion, and the gun is fantastic. And I don't really see a need for an A4 just because I think the Centurion fits my needs. And, I've already done some work to it. I got to get a trigger bar for it. Other than that, it's ready to rock and roll. But there's really nothing that I can say for me in particular that I've seen that I have to get. I think we'll see. SHOT Show, there may be somebody out there who has something up their sleeve that's going to be coming out. It would be nice to see the Nemo Arms firearm come out, that little pistol they were coming out with like 4 years ago. But that hasn't come to fruition either. And that's another one I'm interested in. But other than that, nothing.
Yeah, and that thing's not little. Harry stuck his hand on it, and he's like, "Hey, it's built definitely for you. It's big gun." So I was excited about it. But yeah, like you said, that Monarch, that thing's who the hell knows where it is. But that's another thing that we've talked about is the circle. I've done all the HKs, USPs, all that stuff way back when, and kind of made the little thing. And I know 17's had. He's probably bought and sold three sets of different guns and shit since we've been friends. I'll tell him, "Oh, hang on to that gun." "No, I'm tired of it," and then he'll buy it a month
That's
later.
only happened a couple of times. I mean, it's like
It happened on the P07. It's happened on the VP9.
P10.
It's happened on.
I have no P10s anymore, so suck it.
But
on
how
that
many
one.
have you had?
I said
I've had more than like one.
Yeah, it's happened on the. I said P07, P10, the HK, the VP9, because you had like the SK, the VP9. You've been through that gamut.
I just don't like that gun. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just,
So,
I've tried to. I tried like 8 times, and I just don't like it.
Oh, I think on the FN too. Didn't you sell one?
Yeah, I had the 509, and then I had the
Yeah.
MRD, and
Yeah.
you know, and again, that gun it didn't do anything for me. But I am considering buying another CCP at some point. That's a joke, guys. I'm not.
I was waiting for the punchline there. Wait,
you
what?
know, I actually reached out to them when they came out with the CCP, whatever it was, plus M2 plus or whatever it was. And I communicated with a guy that I knew in Walther, and I said, hey, man, send me one of those guns and I'll review it, since I took a giant shit on it before. And so his response was, oh, yeah, you know, I'll contact the guy who's in charge of that, blah, blah. Never heard from them again. So I'm pretty sure I'm never getting that gun.
Nope.
Yeah. How many Glock 19 to 17 owned?
Let's see. I've had
4.
No, I've only had 3 19s, but now I have the MR 920, and that's it. I got that and the 19X, and I'm never getting another Glock unless they do something different. But to me, there's no need for a Glock 19 when you have that MR 920. It's such a better gun.
It is a good gun. I won't tell you how many Glock 19s I've owned.
That's true. Yeah. Do you have any Glock 19s now?
A lot, but they're all actually I have one real one. Most everything are the P80s because I can't sell those. So those are just stay in one of the 2 safes, and they really never get touched anymore. Oh God, what a money pit. But anyway, I have a 19C, and that's it. Yeah.
And the thing about the P07s, man, like I had the original Duty when that came out. And then I wound up having a bunch of, I probably like three of them other than that. And now I have one, and I cleaned it up. It's an amazing smooth trigger. I mean, that's going nowhere, because it really has just what I did to it really changed the gun for me. So I'm like, shit, I'm going to keep it.
I remember when I talked about P07s, you used to shit on me for it.
No, I never shit on you. That's not true. Not about that. I shit on you about the P09 and your bullshit about the Omega trigger, but never about the P07, because that Omega trigger
has the Omega trigger, you douchebag.
I know it does, dumbass. I'm just saying that trigger is a piece of shit. It is. You have to clean that trigger up.
Anyway, that is true. Hey, where's your Caracol?
Okay, so I got a story about that too. So I reached out to him in, probably the end of November, and say, hey man, you know, I'm just curious, where do we stand on this? Because, you know, every time I oh yeah, we're here. And so he said, you know what, we're definitely going to have this to you before New Year's. They got all the production down. Everything's good to go. They're just going through all the tests again. And they said, as soon as it's done, I'm going to send you your gun back, and I'm going to send you another one. And so I reached out to him again after New Year, saying Happy New Year. Hopefully 2022 will be the year. So I haven't heard from him. So I'm still waiting. And you know what? I hope when it does come to me, that gun rocks. And all of you guys who've given me shit are going to be so jealous.
It won't. You're going to pull the trigger and the damn thing's going to blow up or fall apart.
Well, you know, it's funny, everybody, when you say that, like, so you guys know there was a recall on the original Caracols for that very reason. That shit was blowing up in people's hands. And I'm telling you, when I was shooting that gun, it did feel like it was going to explode, and that's why I stopped shooting it, because I was even getting a lot of blowback in my face from the pistol. So I was like, something's not up with this, not right with this. So I still think when they allegedly fixed it, I don't think they really fixed it, because if you even look at the slides and everything, what they did to it was nothing. I mean, it looked identical from the old one to the new one. So we're going to see. I mean, I'll stay hopeful. I'll probably have somebody else shoot it at the range for a couple hundred rounds. So if it blows up in their hand. But I'm going to stay optimistic about Caracol, and Caracol, it's their year is 2022, baby. Let's go.
I bet you what they did before they sent it back to you is they loaded that bitch full of JB Weld. So,
probably.
Yeah, duck butter and hen shit to hold it together.
We'll see. Listen, I have faith. And they did put up like a little advertisement, which was like the first one I've seen in 3 years. So
So
which was
they're
funny because somebody
basically,
commented saying, "You guys still sell guns?"
yeah, basically shot shows.
That was K9. That was my boy K9, man. He's giving him shit.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say they're probably showing up at SHOT Show just to say, look at our 3D printed gun.
Right.
Yeah, because that's when Harry and I went way back when. That's what they had at the NRA show. They had that damn 3D printed gun. I was like, okay, great. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we do see some stuff at a SHOT Show. I'm not holding my breath. I mean, I think probably for like gear and maybe optics and stuff like that, there's probably going to be a lot of stuff at SHOT Show that could be coming out. I've already heard rumors that Trijicon is going to have a green SRO. Also, they're supposed to have a duty grade SRO. It's supposed to be like heavy duty aluminum housing and all that other stuff. So hopefully it comes. That'd be pretty cool. But who knows? Like I said, I don't, kind of like with this DWX deal, I don't know I don't really believe it until it's out for sale because, a lot of this stuff, not just CZ, they're bad about it, but other ones have been bad about it. Oh, we're going to have this, we're going to have that, and we never see it.
mm-hmm.
So, who knows?
But, I do know that Icarus Precision is coming out with some stuff this year. Haven't gotten my hands on anything. I don't know if they're blacklisting me just yet, but I'm sure I'll get there at some point, like always. But they've been sending. No, they're actually really cool. But they've been sending me some pictures of some things they've been working on, and they had a range day with one of it, and it's. I don't even know how to describe it. It was a 9mm thing, looked like it was shooting at like a 22 flat. Wow. I mean, flatter than flat. It's incredible some of the shit that they're going to be doing. So I look forward to seeing that stuff come out. So
yeah, that's cool. All right. Snowman is asking P365X or XL if you could only have one.
To me, they're really no different. It's the exact same grip. So the shooting characteristics, I think, are going to be basically the same. I mean, you're gaining what, half an inch on the XL versus the X, but maybe an ounce, maybe 2. So I pick the one you like, pick your flavor, and run with it. So they're both good guns.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, 17?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think there's a huge difference. I mean, if you like the longer grip, the shorter slide, similar to like, 19X or the, 43X or something, is going to feel much more balanced. I don't think so. Like I said, it's such a minute difference between the two. I've had the longer grip on the aluminum frame with this shorter slide, and it doesn't feel any better than the longer slide on that same grip frame. So it really is going to be up to you to decide what you feel is best for you.
I will say this, and neither one of them really work for me, but if I had to choose, I'd pick the XL because that extra length does help, and you get all your leverage from your pinky. A lot of people don't realize that. You will shoot better if you can get your damn pinky on it. Now, could you add an extension? Yeah, you could do that, but
the X and the XL are identical in frame.
Oh,
they're both 12 round.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking, yeah, I would run I meant the longer mag in either one of them. That's what I was trying to say. I'm sorry. So I could get my pinky on them. Never mind. I was thinking of the regular XL too. But yeah, that 365 is not really for me, but I know a lot of people shoot it, love it. So I say rock what works for you.
Yeah.
But all right, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. 17. What is the most money? I want to know this. What is the most money you would spend on a gun?
It's fucking Jesus. I mean, it's definitely not money that you spend. That's for sure. But
no, I'm not saying that.
I mean, for me, it's different. It's if I'm going to spend a lot of money, it has to be a gun that I don't necessarily want to carry or necessarily want to mess with. It's a gun that I just want to have and to shoot for a little bit and then throw it back in the safe. I mean, gosh. Maybe 1,500. I mean, that's my max right now, but I still have 2 kids I got to put through college. So when they get out of here, that'll change,
But I was going to ask, and I wasn't meaning that in a disrespectful way.
No, absolutely not.
I was just meaning a lot of people have a lot of guns, like a lot of polymer guns or guns they don't shoot very much and they just sit there. So I was meaning if you were to get rid of all of those, and get one gun or maybe for 2 or 3 of those or 4 of those that you just don't really shoot, and invest that money in something that you really, really like, whether it be a nice range gun or, something that you would really enjoy. Like when you're going to the range, you're like, I got to take that gun because I love that gun. I was just meaning something like that. Have you
Yeah.
ever thought about maybe thinning out some of the dead weight, so to say?
I definitely have been doing a lot of that, but mostly with the polymer stuff. I've really gotten attached to metal guns again. And, unfortunately, you're only going to find hammers with that. You're not going to find striker fired aluminum guns as often. So for me, I've kind of moved over to just wanting aluminum based guns, not even like heavy steel guns, but aluminum based lowers, mostly compact size or at least carry size for me. And, I think right now, and that's why I was looking at like an A4 or something like that, because that kind of really hits home with what I'm looking for. The CZs, I don't know how many more CZs I can possibly get when I have 3 P01s. I mean, to me, that is the ultimate CZ. And I've said that a million times. It just does everything I want it to. It carries well, shoots well. It just is everything on every mark. But I mean, the polymers, like I was looking at my safe, I don't have many polymer striker fired pistols anymore. Right now, I'm looking at the MR920, the 19X, and the Masada. Those are the only polymer striker fired guns I own.
Now,
and I'm okay with that.
And the PCR, it is a good shooting gun, for the, I mean, I need more hand size, but I'm just saying, you got 3 PCRs. A Shadow 2 will outshoot both those guns.
Sure.
Period.
But again, it's also about
more weight,
right.
bigger size gun, a lot of that stuff plays in it. But I was just going to say, and it's still within your 1,500 price range, and I think you would enjoy it.
Right.
I'm not saying you got to get one. I'm just saying,
right, and that's true. Really but I also, like I said, I'm looking for something that, I don't know. The Shadows are nice. They're nice firearms. There's no doubt about it. But for me, it's not a purposeful gun. I guess that's the best way for me to describe it. While I may not carry it, for me, I'd want to have it for a purpose. And I'm not sure if like a Shadow 2 fits a purpose for me mentally.
What's your?
I don't know what it would. I don't know what way.
I know you carry your PO1. I know, but you don't carry all 3 of them at the same time.
I might.
You carry your PO7.
I've carried 2.
You carry like, you can't carry your MRD 9. You know what I mean? You can't carry 2 or 3 guns. But now this is a question that I get, or this is a comment I get all the time. And here's the comment, Radama. If you're involved in a shooting, your gun will be confiscated by law enforcement. I would never carry a gun over $1,000. What's y'all's feelings on that?
Makes sense.
I mean, I don't know. Carry the gun you want to carry, and just know that there are potential consequences, right? And one of which might be the gun might get taken away. But carry what you want to carry. But I mean, for me, I guess I'm kind of a no limit person. I mean, obviously I have a budget, and I have to stay within that budget, so I won't leave that realm. But if the budget can support it, I don't have a limit. I mean, if it's something that I really want, I mean, take the HKP7. That was not a cheap gun. The Staccato, I guess it was STI Combat Master at the time. I think that might have been the most expensive handgun I've purchased to date, I think. I mean, I wanted it, right? And at the time I could afford it. And so I did. And when that thing ended up going away, I did okay on that. So it turned out to be a good business proposition. But and sometimes, buying a $400 gun feels great because it's the gun you want at the time. So, and it's, as far as the Shadow 2 goes, I mean, although I love them, I mean, I still think it's one of the best bang for the bucks, pun intended, out there on the market, bar none. But as far as purpose goes, I get what you're saying. I mean, unless your purpose is something like maybe collection and you love CZs, which I know you do, or something that's just super fun to shoot at the range, or competition or something. If it doesn't fit those niches for you, then there's probably not a reason to get it, right. Regardless of whether it's a great shooting gun or not.
What's your opinion on this question, 17? If you're involved in a shooting,
I don't think I have a gun that's over $1,000.
Okay. Well, here's my opinion.
The P2000 was pretty close to that because it's it's kind of a rare one, but I mean, I think I agree with with like what a lot of people are saying in the side chat here, is the fact that you carry what you want to carry what you shoot best, carry what you're most comfortable with. And it might be over $1,000 or it might be $300. It's just about what works for you best. I mean, on a daily basis, I'm carrying a PO7, or I'm carrying one of my SIGs. and that's it. Like, that's what I've been carrying mostly. I haven't carried the 92X compact because I don't have a holster for it, but or the damn PX4 Storm compact, but I got a holster on the way for that. So when I get that, I'm going to start carrying that because that's a smooth gun and it shoots, well, it shoots better than I did that day. So, you know, what was that gun? That gun was close to $1,000. It was. But at the same time, you know, you got to do what's best for you. There is no price on, or there's no particular price point that makes you a better shooter. You know what I mean? So you buy whatever you can afford and you practice so that you become proficient. And if it's $300, if it's $150, if it's $10,000, it doesn't matter. You buy what works for you and what you can afford, and just make sure you know how to use it. That's it.
Yeah. You know, and I would definitely say that exact same thing. But, you know, I mean, with staccatos and all this other stuff, people think they're super expensive. I mean, back in the day, I carried less Bears and Ed Browns. You know, they were $6,000 1911s, and I carried it on my hip. So yes, if you're in a situation like that, it's going to get taken. There's no if it'll get taken; it will get taken for sure. So, but I look at it this way: what's your life worth? If that's the gun that you shoot the best, and that's the one you feel the most comfortable with, shoot it, carry it, do what you want to with it. There should not be a limit put on your life. You know, it's kind of like the old thing, you're going to drive a Honda Civic or you're going to drive a, you know, freaking Ferrari. It's whatever you want to drive and you feel comfortable with. So, but if it does not fit your budget and you don't feel comfortable with it, don't do it. You know, I mean, I have the FLP, you know, insurance. So if I'm in a situation like that and the gun is taken, they're going to pay me at least $100 or $1,500. So I'll recoup some of the money. But yeah, I mean, if they take it, I got another one at home. So I'm not too worried about that. But I just want to carry what I feel comfortable with and what I think that I shoot the best with. So, you know, I would never hammer down on anybody and say, don't do that. Don't carry that. That's so stupid. But I get that shit all the time.
Yeah. And if I can just say one other thing, I don't give a shit what you carry, just carry. That's it. Just carry something.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. But, you know, I just say let people roll with what they want. You know, I'm not going to judge anybody. So if you want to carry a freaking high point, carry one. I don't care. But let's see here. Oh, I wanted to ask you this because I've checked in with my gun store. What are you seeing as maybe a couple, what are you seeing the newer guns that have came out recently? What are you seeing coming back into the shop, either used, trading it in for something now different? What are you seeing, you know, maybe a couple of them that are being kind of recycled back in since they came out?
They're not particularly new, but we see 365s and Hellcats come back a lot, and it's not because they're bad. People just bought all of them in droves, right? And so inevitably some end up coming back, but that's really it from a consistent perspective.
You see anything at your shop, 17?
I've seen a lot of older guns coming in, you know, nothing that is new or what I've even considered modern. You know, a lot of them look like they're in bad condition, but again, it's a little different up here because I think people, when they buy the guns, they're holding on to them, especially up here, because it's a long process to get in the first place. And then the people who are selling the old pieces of shit are the ones who are trying to capitalize on the market and trying to sell garbage to people who don't know any better at a top price.
Yeah. What my main store is seeing is PDPs. You know, they sold them, they're coming back, or not immediately, but they have been seeing quite a few of them coming in. And I asked why, and they said, people, you know, maybe had a PQ, or God dang it, PPQ, and they wanted to kind of go between the two, see which one they like the best. And then some people, I heard that once they start carrying it, it's just too thick. So it just wouldn't work for them. But they are seeing a lot of PDPs, a lot of the SIG 365s. And hell, I saw one they just took back in, and it was that, God, what is the name of that? Zev 365? You know, the like $1,100 one, whatever. Yeah. They sold it a week ago, and the guy traded it in today. He didn't like it. So, you know, but it is what it is. But that's what they're seeing the most of. Oh, and some revolvers, you know, people, it was probably during the, you know, when that's all they could get. So some people have traded back in or gotten rid of the revolvers. But the PDP they said is the most one they're seeing that is a newer type firearm.
I'm not surprised.
So I thought that was, pretty like, wow, okay. But didn't know if y'all were seeing anything like that.
Yeah, no.
I don't even think anybody around me knows what the hell a PDP is.
Oh, really?
I've never seen one in the wild around here.
Oh,
no, everything is Glock or Smith because that's the only thing they know. So whoever orders these guns with some of these places around here, I'm just like, dude, have you ever heard of anything else that doesn't start with a G or an S?
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's 100% true. We've had a couple of PDPs on the shelf, and they will sit there for a long time. Although PPQs did, FNs did, Beretta APXs did as well. Glock and Sig, those are the overwhelming predominant sellers, especially in the polymer game. And I'll tell you what, if we see a P226 or 229, and we're a master dealer, if we see those, they're gone in an instant. CZs, they're gone in an instant because they're so rare to find. But Glocks and Sigs, that's what people they know in their head, and that's kind of what they're shopping for.
Right. And the unfortunate thing too around me is the price gouging as well. The one particular shop that I live near, and it's not my normal shop, it's a secondary shop. I went in there, I was looking at handguns and everything else. And they were selling it was a PCR. It was a PCR. They wanted $720 for it. Wow. And I'm like, $720, you can get it $200 cheaper on Gunbroker, so I was like, this is why this gun never moves, because you guys have no idea what you're supposed to be selling these for. And it's kind of disappointing in that regard, because some of the guns you see there, you're just like, really? For that? You're wanting $450 for an SD9? I mean, I don't know how you can get that.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Oh, Kathleen's in the house. Hello, Kathleen. How are you? Long time no see.
Real quick, it was, and we actually missed a comment from Rabbi earlier. He'd made a very nice donation, but he had said, "I'm surprised new buyers get SIGs. They aren't cheap." And you're right, they aren't. However, the price point doesn't always matter so much when it's the stuff that's coming out of the box. And when you're putting them side by side, especially when you let people go out on the range and shoot them for newer shooters, they almost always shoot SIGs better. And that's usually because they're just a little bit more comfortable in the hand. They're more natural because they have more of a 1911 style grip, so not as angled, which the angled grip is perfectly fine, but to a newer shooter, not so much. But their triggers are lighter. And so there's not as much to fight through. And so most of those new shooters, they're going with SIG. And SIG, the more experienced shooters are going with them a lot as well. I see a lot more SIG buyers coming in the door. SIG is pushing really hard, and I think they're doing a pretty good job at it.
Yeah.
But they are becoming very rare to find. The M11s you can't find, and when you find them, there people are asking $2,000 for that right now.
Yeah.
That's why for me, like, if you like a SIG so much, go get yourself a Beretta. In my opinion, the Beretta's take up is nicer. It's a little bit smoother, 100 times easier to work on, to kind of really do it up the way you want. And when you're doing that, just the pricing on the parts are, in my opinion, much cheaper than what you're going to find on a SIG. All you got to do is get a trigger bar from Langdon, $67, $67, but it takes 10 seconds to throw a trigger bar on, and you got the smoothest take up ever. You buy a hammer, a brand new hammer, skeletonized hammer, $29, throw that in 10 seconds, boom. Now you have a lighter reset, or you got a better reset and a lighter pull. So, I mean, to me, Beretta, as much as and somebody mentioned their customer service is absolutely atrocious. It's garbage. It's horrible. I can't get a plate for the 92X Centurion. They haven't even responded. So that's nice of them. But at the same time, when you buy them, you can do them any way you want to improve them. And, some people say, well, why would you do that on a carry gun? It's all about making the gun work better for you, whatever that means. And, would they say, well, was this a modified gun? I mean, do you really have to say anything? I mean, how are they going to tell? What, are they going to pull the springs out? Are they going to say, well, this trigger bar is different? It's like, I don't know. Sometimes I think that's blown up way too much. Obviously, And I'll say this for Big Johnson, you know, if you're rolling around with an optic and a comp and a 47 round magazine, I think the case would be a little bit harder for you than it would be for me carrying 2.5 rounds and not having any of that shit on it. So I don't know. It's just so weird. Like, I like SIGs, but one thing I found that when I look at SIGs and when I look at H&Ks, ridiculously overpriced compared to everything else out there. And maybe that's because of, the aura around the handgun. And I think that applies more for H&K than any other firearm, because let's be honest, when you look at some of those HKs, look at the USP. The USP is a nice gun, but that safety on there is so stupid. It makes no sense that it's right where it's not supposed to be. And then you look at some of the other guns and there really hasn't been a modernization of any of those firearms. You go from a USP to a P2000, then to a P30, and that's as modern as the P series ever got. True. Now they have the VP9, and I'll be honest with you, VP9, I think, is getting a little bit long in the tooth. Yeah, you can put an optic on it now and it has a long slide and it looks really, really cool. But H&K, I think, a lot of times goes by the reputation of their guns from 1980. And I think Beretta, is beating people because while their guns look traditionally the same, functionally they're changing them and making them better.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say the X series for the Beretta 92 series was a brilliant move. I mean, for the money, they are phenomenal guns, especially if you don't want to get something like the Performance or can't afford the Langdon Tactical or whatever. I mean, without question. I mean, personally, I still would prefer 226, 229 over the Berettas. And you know me, I'm a Beretta collector. I love Beretta. I love them. I mean, that PX4 Storm, the Langdon Tactical is brilliant. But it all comes down to preference at that point. I'd be happy, I think, probably with either one. If somebody just handed one to me and said, "This is what you've got, you got to run with it." I mean, okay, I'd be cool with that.
And here's where I am with SIG. Nothing against SIG. Okay, I just shot 3 of the newer models. Hell, one of them is a special edition. I just shot them with Humble. Shot his, and I was just kind of like, okay, I mean, I shot them good. They didn't shoot bad or anything, but for me, they don't do it for me anymore. Now with SIGs, in that I can really appreciate are their old metal German guns. Hell yeah. That's where the shit was. And the Legions are nice too. But and yes, they're very innovative. They come out with all kinds of stuff. But y'all can agree with this, some of their guns that have came out, we've been the test dummies for them. But they just don't do a lot for me. Now, as far as the HKs, the USPs, some people don't like them. I actually really like them, and I love their SKs. Those are 2 of my favorite HK guns, are the USPs and the SKs. Just personal opinion. The VP9's not bad, but it is what it is. And then as far as the Berettas, I've owned Berettas, the 92s and stuff like that, but I just wish, and I know you can put a mag extension, but I just wish the grips were a little longer, just for me. Everybody else is going to be fine. But that's where, when I load the mag, it just pinches me right here. I mean, you've seen me, Kiss, when I shot yours, it's just not long enough. I just wish it was a little longer. But they're great guns. I mean, they're going to be around. They're not going anywhere. But as far as innovative, some of the stuff that SIG does, they'll put lightning cuts, they'll do this, they'll put lipstick on something, and then it's a new model. But I wish, I like that they're doing some of the aluminum frames or metal frames and stuff like that now. I can definitely appreciate that. And I would agree with 17. I love polymer guns, don't get me wrong. Even the Staccatos have the polymer lowers, but it's for a reason, for the flex. But I am preferring aluminum/steel guns a little bit more and more now. Like I said, that circle, everybody's going to try something different. And I've had people say, "Oh, I would never, buy that gun or whatever." And then they shoot it and they're like, "Oh shit, now I want to buy it." So it's just, I think if you haven't experienced something, I would recommend even just going to a range and either shooting your buddies or maybe renting some different guns that you might want to try and just see. Your opinions could change, or you could be like, "Yep, I don't like that gun." But it was good to shoot Humbles. SIG, I shot the newest one with it doesn't have sights on it. it just has an optic. It's that new Max Michelle version.
Yeah,
and it was a nice gun. But the one thing about SIGs, if they've got a longer slide, and maybe y'all can have experienced this too, I get, even with a monster grip on it, I get the little, when with the recoil, you get that little kind of, I call it like a bucking sensation, and it's not bad. I can just feel it. And I do experience that with SIGs that I don't with other guns. But like I said, it's strictly a feel thing for me. I'm a big feel shooter, just like a field golfer. So if it feels weird or if it feels different, not saying, and I just shot a gun the other day that everybody's going to be pretty excited about. And you're talking about a field gun, and you're talking about a freaking expensive ass gun. I just shot the Alien. So not the cheap one, the freaking $6,000 or $5,000 one. So, and it was different. So you'll see the review, but that was definitely a different gun. Haven't felt anything like that before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it is fun to experience different things if you haven't. But heck, it's getting about that time. Anything that's coming up, or KS, you're going to start doing videos? You got one coming out tomorrow?
I do, actually. I do.
Yeah. Okay. You probably have like something for Thursday, like a 3-peat Thursday. There's going to be a 3 video drop tomorrow.
I actually have been making videos the entire time I've been gone and just saving them, so I'm going to dump them all at once.
Oh, there you go.
He's going to blow up the internet.
Have you?
I am.
I mean, I'm asking this because I've had people ask me, but have you thought about maybe? I know you're busy, but have you thought about maybe doing a video here and there?
No.
Okay.
They're just here's the thing. First they're in a lot of time. My schedule's pretty darn full. How long have we been coordinating this? Like 4 weeks. Yeah, a while, right? So that's a challenge. But then also, well, even though the channel is still there, YouTube will not promote the videos anymore. Basically the channel is blacklisted. So it doesn't make any sense for me to put time and effort into even a 4-minute video if they're not going to let you know that it's out there. That just doesn't make sense to me. That's the business side of me says, walk away. And the channel's still out there and people can watch the old stuff if they want to. That's great. People still tell me every once in a while they see a video and it was helpful, and that's cool. That's what it's there for. Beyond that, I've got other stuff to do, and I'm still in the firearms industry and I'm still helping, but on a much more granular and local level, and I feel good about that.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
What about you, 17? You got anything coming up?
I just want to say to Guy comment, I actually wound up getting a Black Arch holster for the PX4 Storm. I know that's a big surprise, but it's their new holster of the month. So I was like, well, I really like that. I like that style. So that's my favorite one, but you guys know that I'm really up on those holsters. Hi, Vborg. Nice to see you. And then finally, I got some things coming down the pipeline. I got to take the guns back out, shoot them a little bit better than I did last time, so I can do at least a shooting review on the PX4 and one on the X Compact and the X Centurion. So that video will be coming out too. Obviously, I'm gonna say this year, 2022, I'm kind of taking the channel a little bit more seriously. I'm not exactly sure what that means. In the past, I never really did. I just did whatever, and never really did much regarding that. But this year, I want to see if I can change some things, kind of push the envelope a little bit with what I can do. I've said it before, I started Patreon. I'm not saying everybody should go in, and obviously I'm not going to beg you for anything, but if you guys want to help out, great. If not, no big deal. Still going to do what I do. But I feel like at this point, I watch other channels. Obviously, I see them being extremely successful, and sometimes I question why. I'm not going to badmouth other people. But at the same time, it's time to, I think, throw some support my way. So that I can improve what I want to improve. I think, like I said, the market for us up here in the Northeast is so much different than a lot of other channels out there. And so, I'm going to see how that plays out. And if I get $3 a month from one person, then that's $3 extra. And that helps. Anything helps. But other than that, I'm just going to keep doing some things, try to come up with some clever ideas to expand the content a little bit more. I went on a video spree over the break here. When I was sick, I couldn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, I think I threw out 3 videos, and they didn't do too bad. So that's good. But just keep it real. Just try to keep it as real as it's been. And that's it, man. Just looking forward to seeing how this year plays out.
Well, I mean, I've got some huge news. With my channel, I'm just going to continue doing what the hell I do, and y'all can watch. But I'm not going to really, I've really, as far as editing, I've just thrown videos together. It's super easy. I just do it on my phone in the iMovie. So people have like, man, your editing's you've really upped your editing. I'm like, I'm not doing shit, but throwing stuff into iMovie on my phone. So keeping it simple. But no, I appreciate everyone, following all of us. That's a big thing. And it was really, really good to get these two guys back together, have us all do the reunion chat, a lot of fun. I love these two guys, they're like brothers to me. I really appreciate them. And it was hard trying to configure everybody's schedule. Everybody's busy, and I completely understand it. But it was a great time, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm sorry we didn't get to a whole bunch of questions, but we've got these two guys on here, and I wanted them, to kind of get some ideas and let y'all know what they're up to. So really, really good time. But if you have questions afterwards, please leave them. These guys are always open to come on and answer questions too. It's a free for all down there, so y'all have fun with it. But really want to thank you two guys for coming on, and thank the chat people for giving us good questions. Sorry we didn't get to all of them. We really didn't get to a bunch of them, so I apologize for that, but we'll do it next time. So any parting words?
No, everybody stay safe. Have a good new year. It's new. Who knows what's going to happen this year?
Yeah. It's a lot of this old. It's been crazy, and it seems like up here it gets crazier. So we'll see. We'll see what happens politically up here, because the winds are shifting a little bit. There was a big protest in Albany today. We're gonna see. I don't. This state is just fucked. Let me put it to you that way. It just is.
That's in a nutshell, huh?
Yeah. And if you guys have been reading the news, look what the district attorney of Manhattan is doing. It's even better. So here's my advice. If you come to New York, avoid New York City at all costs, or you're going to die.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thanks everyone out there. Leave questions, comments, concerns, all that good stuff if you'd like to. And maybe we can do this a little farther down the road. I'd love to have the guys back on. And everybody stay in touch. And if y'all need anything, let me know. And have a great night, guys. We appreciate y'all so much. And we will see all y'all later.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.